So Nikola Jokic is currently having what can be argued as the greatest basketball season of all time. I think it can be argued. Like, remember Steph Curry in 2016? Obviously, that had more, like, hype. It had more stuff like that. But Nikola Jokic is currently averaging a 30-point triple-double, and his team is the 2 seed. There's no, like, oh, he needs to win more, all of this other stuff. None of that. None of that. You can't even make that argument anymore, because Nikola Jokic is, well, you know, the 2 seed. Not only that, his team are on a big win streak. They are on a huge win streak. Over his last 9 games, he's averaging a 30-point triple-double. They're undefeated and shooting 60% from the field, a crazy percent from 3. Again, without any other All-Stars on his team. He is the only All-Star currently on the Denver Nuggets. And by the way, not only that, the only other player, as far as I'm aware, well, 2 players that have made All-Star teams in their career have not made an All-Star team. Did Russ make one this decade? Maybe Russ made one this decade. I think he made one of either 2020 or 2021. He made 2020. So none of them made an All-Star team since the pandemic. Since the damn pandemic. Not only that, it has to also be taken into account that Nikola Jokic has figured out what LeBron couldn't. How to get the best out of Russell Westbrook as a not number 1 option. Nobody has ever been able to figure out how to make Russell Westbrook not even get the best out of him. How to just make him look competent when he's not the number 1 option. Because any time in his career he's not been the number 1 option, he has been garbage. And he's been brilliant for the Denver Nuggets. And now healthy with Jamal Murray starting to play like a basketball player again. Jamal Murray playing like a basketball player. We've got all of this stuff in. And now you're in a situation where the Nuggets are really, really good. And they're the 2 seed. Nikola Jokic has to be the MVP. He just has to be. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There is nobody else that should be in the conversation. Forget Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I get it. Oh, his team are the 1 seed. Jokic's are the 2 seed. If you guys don't know, Nikola Jokic with the Denver Nuggets has finished as the 1st seed once. But he got voter fatigued out of MVP. He cannot get voter fatigued out of MVP when he's having one of the 3 greatest seasons, individual seasons in the history of the NBA. Like, I don't think people realize just how impressive what Nikola Jokic is doing is. And because of that, people are like, just like, oh yeah, it's Jokic. Shai's the MVP. Why? Because he shoots more free throws? Because he's got better players around him? They've surrounded him with like J-Dub, Isaiah Hartenstein. Like, they've surrounded him with a bunch of like quality players. There genuinely are a bunch of quality players around Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You've given him the likes of Lou Dort and stuff. The Denver Nuggets, every single time a role player starts playing well for Denver, they trade them. Or either trade them or can't afford to keep them. Bruce Brown, one of their most important pieces, they can't afford him. Let him walk. Let him walk. That was their logic of Bruce Brown. Let him walk. And now, with that, you've got them letting Bruce Brown walk. You've got them letting, KCP walk, because they can't afford to keep KCP, because Nikola Jokic, people are like, oh, these other players have won more than Jokic historically. I'm like, yeah, of course they have. Because back in the day, you didn't, if you won a championship, you were able to like retool and get better. Now if you win a championship, all your role players are going to be like overpaid for. Someone's going to give instead of back in the day, if you're the Chicago Bulls, it's like, oh yeah, let's just go and get Ron Harper. Ron Harper's like an all-star. Let's get this all-star and let's turn him into a defensive player. Now it's, we're either going to have to pay freaking KCP like he's an all-star, or we're going to lose him. Because teams are going to overpay. So, yeah, that's just what I always think with that it's just that people don't realize how hard it is in the current era, what Adam Silver has done. Adam Silver's gotten rid of the dynasty. And the fact is that Jokic, whether it be suddenly now it's Peyton Watson and Christian Brown. And every single year it's like, oh, these players are like these players that Jokic has had are like the most improved players. And I'm like, do you not think it's because of that big Serbian? Do you not think that the reason why the freaking Serbian team almost beat USA in the Olympics was because of that man right there? Like, there has never been a better floor raiser. You know the way people always talk about LeBron making teammates better and stuff, and only really being spot-up shooters? Doesn't matter what your style is, Nikola Jokic will make you play at the best of that, at your best of whatever you do. Not just being a spot-up shooter. Because he just does everything on the court on the offensive end. He's the greatest offensive player in the history of the sport. And I mean that. He's not the greatest scorer in the history of the sport. All around offensive player, he's the greatest offensive player in the history of the sport. I think an argument can be made for MJ. I think an argument can be made for Curry. I don't think an argument can be made for Kevin Durant. I think all in all, everything included, Nikola Jokic is the best. He is scoring 30 points on the best efficiency in the league, while being, again, a serviceable defender. Not a good defender by any means, but a serviceable defender. And his team are the second seed. Let's not be stupid. Let's not be dumb here. The media, let's not be dumb. He has not won. He is on a 1 MVP streak. Give him 4 or 5. Like, in 2020 or 2013, when LeBron won his last MVP, nobody was trying to voter fatigue him out of winning 4 for 5. No one voter fatigued him out of it because he had his best season ever. This is a 3-time MVP who is having the best season since... There's 2 individual seasons. And I'm not even going to be talking about like total seasons. The best season I've seen in my lifetime is LeBron 2013 because he won the finals and won finals MVP. Steph 2016 is the greatest regular season of all time. This, as far as regular seasons are concerned, in my opinion, just from like regular seasons in my lifetime that I remember, the best regular season I remember was obviously Steph. Then after that, the next best was either Harden 2018 or LeBron 2013. This is better than both of them and this close to being Steph. If the Warriors didn't go 73-9 and Steph didn't have the aura and everything, I would say just purely based on basketball, you could argue Jokic is having the best season. Because again, Steph had multiple All-Stars on that team, and then an Iguodala who was willing to come off the bench. And when he still could have been an All-Star on another team. Nikola Jokic has a Russell Westbrook who was deemed washed a half a decade ago. And the offense stops here, Porter Jr. And Jamal Murray, who finally is looking like Jamal Murray again. But anyway, I'll see you guys.